There are so many legends to choose from in Apex Legends, and what legend you should play in Apex Legends can be one of the hardest things to tackle as a newer or beginner player, or just someone looking to switch up the way they are currently playing. What legend should I get is a question I get asked quite often, as players want to use a legend that is going to work well for them and get them more kills and wins. Not everyone can spend dozens of hours playtesting each legend, and because of that, I am here to help you pick your new legend to main, try out, or unlock. Each legend has unique abilities, themes, weaponry, and playstyles that should all be taken into account for, and we are going to break down each legend's playstyles to help you make an informed decision. However, this is going to be a high-level overview of each legend, and if you need more, a link to our Master Guide series with every legend is in the description down below, and I would encourage you to go check that out to learn more. So let's kick it off and start with the legends that are more or less an offensive or an aggressive-based legend. Let's talk about one of the most popular legends this season, and that is Octane. For me, Octane is my go-to answer for a legend that is super simple to use and easy to get down. Octane is that type of legend who is more about speed, and he is a more solo-oriented legend. The ultimate, the launchpad, can be used by teammates, but his stim is more or less just for himself, and similarly, his passive of health regen is just for him. Octane, in my opinion, is a great starter legend because he really helps users focus on their gunplay rather than their abilities, which can be good for less experienced players. The weaponry for Octane is primarily close range, since you are in the enemy's face most of the time, but having some medium range options is good as well, since you can lay down some fire from range and then make that stim push with the launchpad. Octane is the legend for you if you are a super aggressive player who wants to make some crazy plays and doesn't take Apex Legends too seriously. Octane also pairs well with pretty much every legend in the game, since his launchpad can be used in the same manner by every legend. However, there is one legend these days that does pair very well with Octane, and that is Revenant. Revenant fits a very similar playstyle to Octane, even if he doesn't have the same speed as him. Revenant's power really comes from his death totem, and honestly, he is all about making those crazy plays with it. If you are unaware, this death totem gives the user the ability to pretty much make a free push with a free life. This is a totem that you put on the ground and you get a short time to make a play before the timer runs out or your health hits 0. During this phase, you will only take health damage, and if you do run out of health from the enemies damaging you, you will respawn with your full shields and half health ready to make another push. This pretty much makes it so you can make a free play to try and wipe enemy teams. Most players have a hard time dealing with this aggressive playstyle, and Revenant is a great legend to make plays, and honestly, it's a great legend for newer players because this death totem does let you practice making pushes while knowing you will basically get another life. However, Revenant really benefits from a pre-made squad, as the death totem is most effective with a coordinated team, and the likes of Octane, Wraith, Bloodhound, Pathfinder, and Crypto are all some of the more favorable legend pairings when it does come to his ultimate. For his other abilities, his tactical allows him to silence enemies' abilities, and the faster crouch walking and higher climbing passive ability is also nice, but not as notable as that death totem. Revenant is another legend where the close and medium range weaponry is favorable for him. Being able to push with the close range weapons and then cleaning up from the medium range after you get sent back to the death totem is a very solid way to play Revenant. Pick up Revenant if you want to play a legend that's all about being super aggressive, very edgy, and you want to make some big plays. Moving on to the new legend from Season 8, and that is Fuse. Fuse is once again an aggressive legend who is all about explosives and creating chaos. For me, the most notable part of Fuse is his passive ability that allows him to stack up to 2 extra grenades in a single inventory slot. Grenades might be one of the more underutilized or underrated items in the game, as they really can be a huge deal for making big plays and getting enemy teams to rotate out of their cover. Fuse is the best legend in the game to do this, since he does have the ability not to only hold more grenades, but also throw them at much further distances than every other legend in the game. The tactical ability is also a cluster grenade that does minor damage and is another great way to make enemies panic, force rotations, or break traps and doors. Finally, Fuse's ultimate ability is a mortar that allows you to create a ring of fire on the ground that does a fair amount of damage if enemy players walk into this ring. This ring in my eyes is fairly weak though, and does gain a significant potential power boost when you are running with legends like Horizon, Caustic, Gibraltar, and Bangalore. I'd say the weaponry for Fuse is going to be a medium range type of weaponry, as most of his abilities can be used at great distances, but it would be wise to also run with some close range weapons as well. Definitely give Fuse a go if you are all about explosives and creating chaos on the battlefield. Next up, we are looking at one of the most tried, true, and proven legends in all of Apex Legends, and that is Wraith. I had a hard time placing Wraith in a specific category as she can be a bit of an aggressive legend and support legend, but overall I think she is more of the offensive type. Wraith in a lot of ways is a type of scout that has the ability to finesse her way around the map with the use of her tactical ability, which is Into the Void, which gives her brief invulnerability and a speed boost. She can also rotate her entire team though through the use of her portal. I think one of the toughest things that new players have a hard time grasping onto is just how good this portal really is to move an entire team around towards the mid to late game. The ability to go from one spot to another and not take any damage and get that crucial positioning can't be understated. Her hitbox is still fairly small, which can also make her slightly more elusive than the other legends in the game, and this is still the case even though her hitbox isn't as small as it once was. Her passive is Voices of the Void, and this is a fine ability to get more intel when you approach traps or are getting aimed at by enemies. Wraith for me is really all about making aggressive plays and being at the front of her squad, leading them to victory. Wraith pairs well with every legend, but the only legend I will say that has an extra bonus is Caustic. The ability to put gas traps at the end of the portal can be a great way to catch teams portal chasing off guard and get some easy kills. Weaponry is absolutely close range and medium range, as she again is a very aggressive legend. Definitely give Wraith a try if you want to be an aggressive legend that up until Season 8, she had one of the highest pick, win, and attachment rates of any legend, and it's evident by the results that she has provided thus far. Our next legend is a legend who I honestly think is one of the most unique legends in the game, and that is Mirage. Mirage for me is almost in a class of legend all by himself, but for this we are putting him in the aggressive category. Mirage is unique and honestly can be a lot of fun to play. His theme is all about deception and of course being the life of the party. Overall, he is a pretty simple legend to use, but very difficult to be effective with. His tactical ability is a decoy that allows him to control a clone of himself, which can confuse enemies, and his ultimate ability allows him to spawn multiple clones of himself in an aggressive fashion that is a great way to get into and out of a fight. Finally, has a solid passive ability that allows him to do invisible revives and invisible respawns. Mirage is my go-to recommendation for me for those that really want to challenge and want to make their enemies feel quite dumb when they do get killed by shooting a Mirage decoy. For me though, Mirage really shines with that ultimate. The life of the party ultimate recharges super quickly for an ultimate ability, only 60 seconds, and is a really great way to completely overwhelm your unsuspecting opponents. Weaponry for Mirage is generally close range, as Mirage's ultimate doesn't work too much from range, and the only legend I really see benefiting from Mirage is going to be Octane and his jump pad to get into fights. Mirage is a fine legend to use, and if you want something completely different, definitely give him a try. Our final legend in the aggressive category is Horizon. When Horizon came out, she was the first legend to come out in 4 or so seasons that was actually usable and instantly installed in the meta of Apex Legends. She is all about maneuverability, and her passive ability allows her to have this movement in the air and on the ground. The tactical gravity lift can be used to transport the entire team, and is also a great way just to get height and rain down shots on your enemies. Because this tactical does allow you to get instant height, I usually recommend medium range weaponry, as you can turret enemies from this lift. Finally, the ultimate black hole is a decent way to gather up enemies, and if it is paired with some of the proper legends, it can also be very deadly. For this, I really see legends such as Caustic, Gibraltar, or Fuse being a decent matchup. Although honestly, every legend can benefit from her lift and the ultimate ability. I absolutely recommend using Horizon. In my opinion, she is one of the best legends in the game, and for those that are trying to make crazy 1 versus 3 plays, she is definitely for you. I just want to take a moment and say if you are enjoying this video or you want to support me, be sure to hit that like button, as it does help the video get noticed. Also, drop a follow on Twitter, as we do have some exciting things to announce once we do hit our next subscriber goal. Let us now talk about the couple of support legends in the game, and the first one to cover is going to be Lifeline. Lifeline has been a go-to main for some people, as she is simple but a very effective legend to use. Overall, this is going to be your main legend if you are looking for a legend that is really looking out for her teammates. The Tactical Abilities Health Drone is a great way to heal up teammates, and the Ultimate Care Package is a fine way to bring in those extra support items, such as shields or extra healing items. Lifeline really excels at reviving her teammates though. The passive ability's Revive Drone is honestly one of, if not the best ability in the game, and it can be used to prolong fights and make those clutch saves like no other legend. Any competent team will try to push a Lifeline though when that Revive shield is going off, so a Lifeline should be prepared by carrying close and medium range weaponry. All legends will benefit from Lifeline, and there are no specific pairings to recommend with her. If you are looking for a support healer with a lot of spunk, I would definitely pick her up. Our second support legend is going to be a legend I deem to be one of the most consistent legends at picking up the pace of play, and this is Loba. Loba is all about looting and helping her team get weapons, ammo, attachments, and more much quicker than any other legend. The ability to see purple and gold loot through walls will allow you to track down that high tier loot off spawn, and the ability to put down a black market, check what's out in the area, and then move on is a great way to prevent wasted time trying to track down loot that just isn't there in that area. The ultimate is a great way at also just looting from cover. If a lot of teams are nearby or enemy loot boxes are caught in an open field, you can check out what's inside them without having to expose yourself. Loba also does have a teleport tactical ability, which can be a lot of fun to use when it works, and is a solid way at rotating around the map and getting to those harder to reach places. Loba really doesn't have any specific weaponry requirements and can excel with all types of weapons. Definitely give Loba a try, as this looting legend and teleporting thief can be a good time and is a great way to help out your teammates. Our first of two defensive legends is going to be Wattson. Wattson has one of the lowest pick rates in all of Apex Legends, but she also has one of the highest win rates, meaning those that pick her up generally know how to use her and use her well. Wattson is all about holding down areas of the map and really benefits from this playstyle. The tactical abilities fence placement allows her to create electrified fences that can be used to cut off choke points, buildings, and even open areas, and this really creates a satisfying type of play knowing that you are in control of this portion of the map. The ultimate pylon is one of the best ultimates in the game, as it can passively recharge shields for everyone in range and stop other ultimates and grenades from hitting her and her team. Wattson pretty much works well with every legend, but two notable legends for me are Caustic and Lifeline. Caustic can put down gas barrels around or inside fenced areas, making it even harder for teams to push in, and Lifeline can pop that healing drone to heal while the team is also having the ultimate pylon regenerate your team's shields at the same time. I would say that Wattson benefits from a medium range type of weaponry, as she can often be held up in particular areas of the map for a fair amount of time, and she will want to be able to dish out damage at range. Wattson is super unique, and if you are a tactical or defensive player, you should definitely give this electrifying legend a try. Our second and last defensive legend to talk about is going to be Rampart. Rampart came out at the launch of Season 6 and is a legend that is very unique and fits a completely different type of playstyle from most of the other legends in the game. Rampart is the go-to legend for those that are really looking to dish out some extra damage with their tactical walls that boost outgoing damage and prevent damage when coming in. Her passive ability allows her to reload light machine guns faster and gives their magazine size a boost, which is a great thing at the moment since LMGs in Apex Legends are pretty good. Her ultimate is the Big Gun Sheila, a minigun that can rain down fire on enemies and completely delete unsuspecting opponents. Rampart is definitely similar to Wattson, where she really benefits from holding a power position of height and dishing out damage with medium to long range weaponry through her barriers. Caustic is another legend that can benefit Rampart by placing traps in and around her walls and creating an extra layer of security for her team and herself. This witty legend is definitely a solid option if you are looking to hold up areas with the possibility of completely destroying a team in a second with her minigun. Moving on to the hybrid type of legends, and these are legends that could be placed in multiple categories depending on how you want to play with them. The first we are looking at is the militaristic soldier, Bangalore. Bangalore is one of the simpler legends in the game, with a passive that gives her a speed boost when getting shot at, a tactical smoke canister that can be used for cover, and an ultimate ability that is great for causing some damage while also stunning enemies and forcing rotations. Bangalore in my eyes is definitely both offensive and support, as the smoke can be used to distract enemies, cover teammates, get those revives, loot, and do a lot more. Due to her versatile nature, she is definitely a mix between the close and medium range type of play and benefits from those weapons. Bloodhound and Crypto have scanning abilities that can allow herself and her team to see into the smoke, which can be absolutely insane when paired up with these two legends, and it is definitely wise to at least get a Bloodhound paired up with Bangalore. Bangalore is going to be your legend if you want someone who can be extremely elusive, a soldier at heart, and great at supporting her team in a variety of ways. Since we briefly touched on Bloodhound, let's now discuss a legend who is one of, if not the best support legend and offensive legend in the game. Bloodhound's tactical ability is one of the easiest to use abilities in the game, while also providing some of the most valuable information to their teammates. This scan ability is a staple of Bloodhound and allows both Bloodhound and teammates to see enemies through objects. The passive ability is a natural tracker that allows Bloodhound to track enemy footsteps, ability usage, and lots more. Finally, the ultimate is one of the most aggressive ultimates in the game, as it will highlight enemies in red while also giving a huge speed boost to Bloodhound, allowing them to scan more and close the gap faster than almost any other legend in the game. Because Bloodhound does have this huge aggressive ultimate, they benefit most from close and medium range weaponry, and in my opinion, Bloodhound is the perfect starter legend and a perfect legend for the highest of high tier ranked play. Bloodhound is an absolute legend you need to try, and is one that I think most players will be satisfied using if they are into a more aggressive tracker hunter type of character. Our next legend that also has some scanning ability is Crypto. There is so much Crypto can do that we can't cover it all here, but Crypto is one of the most well-rounded legends in the game. He can scan enemies with his drone, revive players, scan beacons, pick up death tags, ping loot, ping signs, and much more, all through the use of his tactical ability. His ultimate pairs well with nearly every team, as it is an EMP that will deal 50 shield damage to every enemy in range, and this can be a great way to soften up an entire team before making a push. Crypto honestly pairs well with every legend in the game, but he does have a slight edge with Octane and his launchpad. This is because Crypto can often be in the back of the team, supporting or EMPing enemies, and this launchpad is a great way to get your gun in the fight quicker after leaving that drone. Likewise, with this, Crypto benefits from medium range weaponry, as he can be pulling up the back of the pack sometimes. Crypto is an extremely versatile legend that requires a deep knowledge of the game to be good with, and is best suited for those that want more of a challenge, want to be a bit more of a recon or surveillance player, or are just looking to make some of the wildest pushes with that EMP. If this all sounds like you, then give this surveillance legend a try. Moving on from these scanning legends, we now have the Toxic Trapper Caustic. Caustic is one of the most unique legends in the game because he is fairly even in terms of both a defensive and offensive player. The tactical abilities gas traps are one of the best ways in the game to prevent enemies from pushing into a building, and these traps can be used in ways to allow for cover, create distraction, get revives off, and much more. The gas grenade is one of the best ultimates in the game for offensive playmaking, and is another great way to shred enemies camping up in rooms, buildings, behind cover, and just overall ability to deal some damage. Caustic really requires no particular team compositions to be effective with, and is a great solo legend as well. He is most effective with the close to medium range weaponry, as he really does benefit from being near and around his gas abilities. Caustic's overall theme is pretty dark, as he is a mad scientist kind of going mad or rogue, and if you want a legend with this playstyle and character, then pick up Caustic. Next up is Gibraltar, one of the most notable and original legends in the game of Apex Legends. Gibraltar is going to be our go-to pick if you are looking for a legend that is more oriented on absorbing damage and protecting the team. The tactical abilities Dome Shield is one of the best abilities in the game for creating cover in wide open areas and creating ways to block abilities from hitting him and his team. The ultimate is the defensive bombardment, which is named oddly enough because enemies that are caught in this bombardment can absolutely get shredded from full health to zero quite quickly. And finally, one of the best parts of Gibraltar is his passive gun shield, which can absorb up to 50 damage, virtually giving Gibraltar a free 50 health bonus on all of his opponents. This does make him deadly in close range battles, and a great legend to peek on enemies at range and avoid getting tapped. Because of this, Gibraltar can really benefit from any range of weaponry, although my preference is going to be close range, but running a sniper on Gibraltar is great as well. Gibraltar will be your go-to legend if you want a protector or a tanky type of legend. And our final legend is going to be the one and only Pathfinder. Pathfinder is one of the more eccentric and enthusiastic legends in the game, who at the moment is really all about his tactical ability, the grapple. The grapple is one of the smoothest and best abilities out there for overall playmaking, positioning, and getting crazy drops on enemies. An aggressive Pathfinder that has mastered the grapple can really be a huge playmaker that enemies will have a hard time countering. Pathfinder is a mix of offensive and support type legend because he does have the ultimate ability, the zipline, which can also be a great way to transport your entire team to those harder to reach spots. Pathfinder will really benefit from any type of weaponry, but again, I think his preferred type of loadout is going to be the close to medium range type of weapons, since he will be in the action more times than not. Pathfinder's personality is very unique and always a good time to play with, and really he will benefit from any team he is on, so there is no specific legends to worry about. If you want one of the most aggressive playmakers in the game who can also scout, pick up this Marvin robot. So there we have it, all of the legends explained in Apex Legends. If you would like to know more on any legend, we again have master guides that do go way more in depth on the specifics of every legend, and it is a great way to get yourself up to speed with their abilities and their overall function in the meta of Apex. I would be happy to answer any more questions, so stop into our community Discord or Twitch stream, and I would love to chat with you. Till next time, my name is TimProVision. Peace out.